Hi, this is Scott Ney from the University of New Mexico. I'm here today to do the first of 3 videos that we're going to do that are going to help you work on the audition material for the AYS 2021-22 auditions. The first video that I'm going to do is about the snare drum excerpt, Festive Overture by Shostakovich. And then I will do the second one will be on the xylophone excerpt, and the third will be on the timpani excerpt. So first I want to give you a few things that you can work on that will help you achieve the excerpt and will help you bring up the tempo, because one of the things with this particular excerpt is it's pretty fast. And there are 2 main things that we'll talk about: 4-stroke roughs and then the Flam pattern at the end of the excerpt. So let's get into the first part of this. So first thing to note is that the half note, you're going to feel this in 2, is at 160. And when you're starting to practice this, don't start at 160. Bring it down, start it at whatever you're comfortable with. Use a metronome and slowly bring that tempo up, okay? The second thing is with the grace notes. So we have 4-stroke roughs that we have to play in this particular excerpt. And there are quite a few of them, and they can be tricky. So we want to try to play them light. We want to try to play them softer than the main note, than the quarter note that they're attached to. And there are a couple of things that you can do to achieve this. I want to give you a couple of exercises, and these are single hand exercises first. And then we're going to do some exercises for both hands together. One of the exercises that you can do with your right hand, I play these, first you have to decide, if you're going to play right, left for the 4-stroke rough, or right, left, right. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're comfortable with is fine. In fact, I would say whatever you're most comfortable with, that's what you should do. And if you need to reverse all of that, meaning instead of right, left, if you want to play left, right, basically alternating, or you want to play left, right, left, that's fine. But I'll talk about both of these sticking patterns, and then you can try both of them and see what you have the most success with right away. If you're going to play right, left, the alternating sticking, one thing you can practice is playing a soft grace note followed by a louder main note. If you're going to play right, left, right, you do the same thing, but you do it with one hand. Once you fill in the other notes, it'll sound like this. Here's right, left, right. Here's what it sounds like if I alternate it. So I'll first play without all of the notes. And I'm exaggerating it a little bit. It might be a little bit more subtle when you play the actual excerpt. So that's one exercise that you can do to help differentiate between the grace notes and the actual note. Something to work on to work up the speed is to work on an exercise where we subdivide it 3 different ways. So I'm going to take this 4-stroke rough, and I'm first going to think of it in 1/8 notes. I'm going to play this at quarter note equals 80. It's a little bit slower so you can hear it. So there's my quarter note. The first way is I'm going to subdivide 1/8 notes. And I'm going to put the 3 grace notes within one of the 1/8 notes. 1, 2, and 1 and 2. It's not too bad. It's relatively slow. Now I'm going to subdivide triplets, and I'm going to put the 3 grace notes on the last partial of the triplet. So I'm slowly going to start moving it closer to the main note. So we're still at 80, but instead of 1 and 2, we're at 1 and up, up, up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Finally, when you're comfortable with that, I'm going to move it over to 16th notes, so I'm going to bring it even a little bit closer. 1, 2, 1 and a 2. Once you get it to the 16th notes, even at about 80, you're right in the ballpark of how fast you need to play these. But by playing it first an 8th note away, and then the 8th note from the triplet, and then a 16th note away, you're slowly playing those faster and faster, and slowly putting them closer and closer to the main note. And you can start it at any tempo. I had it at 80, but feel free to start down at 50, wherever you need to go. But since we're at 80, I mean, we talked about the tempo of this is at 160. That's essentially performance tempo. So when you can play this at 80 to the 16th note, you're right where you need to be for this particular excerpt. When we count off, that's pretty much where we need to be to play this. So 80 is a good ballpark number for you to shoot for. So that's one exercise, that's an exercise that you can use to work on the 4-stroke roughs. The other thing that's challenging in this particular excerpt, the last 2 bars. You have a fast pattern that includes flams. And this is where you're going to play a right hand exercise and a left hand exercise. Now, when I put on, if you take a look at the last 2 bars, the right hand is just going to do this. It just plays 8th notes. Excuse me, it's the last 4 bars. I said last 2 bars. Your left hand is playing this. It's a bounce exercise. So to play this, your right hand's doing this, your left hand's doing this. So in that bar where you have a flam quarter note followed by 2 8th notes and you repeat that, understand your right hand's just playing this, your left hand's just playing a bounce. And I say bounce because if you try to play these, stroke each of them and sort of tense up and try to play, it's not going to work. So work on just a nice, soft, relaxed bounce the best that you can. Layer that essentially over the right hand, playing the consistent notes, and you'll get this. Now, every other bar, you take the flam out on beat 2 and you put in 4 8th notes. But the hard part of this, the difficult part, is that layering of this over that. But this exercise is really important to eventually get this. That's all the right hand does. And so you can just practice that with your metronome at whatever tempo you're comfortable with. And then you can practice this nice bounce exercise with the metronome. Put those together. You have that. Try to stay relaxed, keeping the sticks down. I would also play this about 3 inches from the rim. I don't want to play too close because I'm going to get a pretty thin sound. I want to get the snare response, so I'm gonna come in a little bit. I'm not playing in the center, not even playing halfway to center out to the rim. I'm gonna play about 2.5, 3 inches in. And that'll give me the body of the drum, but it'll also give me a little bit of the sensitivity and lightness that I'm going for. So I hope some of these exercises help you out. Best of luck in your audition. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. You can either go on the UNM Music website and find my email, but it's lsney@unm.edu, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And again, best of luck, and look forward to the next video where we'll be working on the xylophone and the timpani excerpt.